In 2025, I did not expect to be talking about Attack Attack, but here we are, Attack Attack, after a 13-year period from not releasing any material, or at least not releasing an album, rather, because they have dropped an EP. This is the brand new album by Attack Attack, Attack Attack 2. This is a band that got a lot of popularity with the crabcore meme, something where basically band guitarists would just pretty much squat to look like a crab, and they popularized it, but got all the credit despite the fact that it was something that Bless the Fall actually did. They just kind of gave it the name, so good job naming something you didn't necessarily do. Anyway, Attack Attack is a weird electronicore band that has this kind of weird whole juxtaposition between putting in poppy electronic elements to the metalcore sound, hence electronicore, which a lot of bands have been dabbling in to some degree. As a matter of fact, for example, the biggest band I can think of at the moment doing it is probably Callboy. Quite a fun band, and there's generally some songs on here that do remind me of that, but that just tends to be the case when you do a very similar genre, especially since electronicore kind of plays with a lot of bands doing tongue-in-cheek, and Attack Attack is a band that does a lot of that kind of tongue-in-cheek humour, because why not? It's supposed to be silly fun. But yeah, this new album was leaving me thinking, why did they even need to come back? Attack Attack has just generally had a lot of controversy surrounding the name, to the point where making another album was just a weird ass decision, because most of the people that listen to Attack Attack now just don't really give a crap for them, because this is a band that's kind of like lost the trust of a lot of people, first with Austin Carlisle, and then you had a more recent incident about a few years ago with the drummer, I believe, also getting into some very controversial, weird shite. So having numerous people in the band be kind of these predatory creeps definitely gives you kind of this good enough stick to distance yourself with, and it's insane why they would still do this when you've had members like Johnny Frank, even Austin Carlisle was an example for this, and Caleb Shomo move on to projects that have had more success than Attack Attack have. I mean, for example, Of Mice and Men, which was Austin Carlisle's band, but he only appeared on the first album. He ended up leaving the band entirely, or at least he was on the first, yeah, pretty much the first couple of releases. But then straight away it went to Aaron Pooley, and he's pretty much been the one carrying the torch, or at least he's been carrying kind of the energy, and in my opinion I prefer it. Austin Carlisle's voice does get on my nerves, but we don't have to worry about him really being on this Attack Attack release either, because he's not in the band and he's not in Of Mice and Men either. Hopefully he never touches anything again, because what the hell was wrong with that individual. But yeah, went on to Of Mice and Men. Then you've had Caleb Shomo, who made Beartooth, which Beartooth has had quite a bit of some mainstream success. A few #1 US mainstream rock singles, especially both from the new record The Surface. The band gets quite a lot of numbers for what was a metalcore band, albeit kind of drifting more into a post-hardcore, lesser extent of metalcore. And then you've had Johnny Frank, who formed Bilmuri, which, while Bilmuri didn't quite have as much success until more recently, he still was very well respected for the creative kind of country blend with this post-hardcore sound he would put in, and with the prominence of supporting Sleep Token, Bilmuri has only just kind of gotten a lot more successful over the years. So yeah, it's interesting how these kind of projects have just managed to just do so much better than Attack Attack. It pretty much was a sinking ship. Now, I'm not really talked about the album, and I've been recording for a few minutes. That's because there just isn't anything really to talk about here that hasn't been done before, except for now that there's a lot of self-awareness and pity the band is putting on there, talking about, oh yeah, we were one-hit wonders, people complaining about us on r/metalcore. Not even joking, they are the actual song titles, and they go on about it, whinging, because people just don't like the band. And then they also try and make people think, guys, remember Crabcore? METALCORE, remember that? It's like, why do you need to keep reminding us of the past when you guys weren't fucking obnoxiously creepy with all that crap? I'm shocked they even have the audacity to keep this project going and not just do what the other bands are doing. I mean, the fact that 3 members, even though one of them is the main problem of Attack Attack, actually went on to have more successful bands and projects. Maybe they should have invested into doing that, but I feel like the lack of confidence is why it hasn't really worked with the other projects. And you get tracks like Big Booty Britches, which kind of speaks for itself that there's no imagination left into the band. You just got these very forced shit breakdowns. They even kind of tell you, here's a heavy breakdown coming, and you're supposed to be like, oh shit, should I bump my head, should I enjoy this? No, you're being told to enjoy it. That's not the enjoyment of music. The music is supposed to be, if you're going to put a breakdown to surprise people, make it feel like it's not coming, or just make it build up to something that's worth it. It just feels so generic and beige. The whole instrumentation as well just kind of feels very flaky and weird. I really don't understand who they're making this for, but there's not really anyone who's going out the way to listen to much Attack Attack. This band generally is on a heavy decline, and I'm surprised they're still releasing stuff. It feels like they just waited a long time for all the kind of shit to swarm away, and then they can go back to it. It's pretty much when you leave your dinner out and all the flies attack it, and then you wait hours for the flies to go away just to kind of have a piece of your food again. It doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it enjoyable. This Attack Attack album is generally god-awful, and I was not surprised in the slightest. Even though Attack Attack has had some decent stuff in the past, they don't have the kind of assets or the confidence or even the members to push into some of their best ideas, so you're just left with this just downright awful track list, which none of the songs actually have any appeal to it. Sure, you can put Will Ramos on Dance, but that does not make the song any more enjoyable. Felt like he was kind of wasted on that track, to be honest, and that's all I have to say. 1.5 out of 5. This album was horrendous, and I can't believe they decided to come back. The EPs that they did last year was already a sign that I don't think it was working. The EPs just sounded pretty bad. Just didn't really have much of the Attack Attack sound anyone wanted. They just put the most basic description of their sound for, yeah, people like it, and that's kind of it. There is no imagination in the tank. I think it's better I've just packed the project up, move on to new things. Attack Attack is overdone, and I don't see why it's even here now. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.